is learn to set the mood. And I'm not talking about no funny business. I had to learn to make cleaning fun because that's not a perception that I was given. I would take and divide everything that needed to be clean. I would divide that into a task for that particular day. It'll kill all that. You want to tackle one project at a time. It's a new year, and it's time to find new ways to get motivated to clean for when we don't feel motivated. You guys spoke again and made your voices heard. So I'm going to share with you guys how to clean even when you don't have any motivation, because I've been there before. There are many factors that go into it, but I'm going to cover the basics. Let's chat. So the thing to remember when a person does not feel motivated to clean, there's something deeper beyond the surface. Generally speaking, people don't look at that. They just look at that there's a mess here or that you're not feeling motivated, and they either do not care to explore what it is that has sucked away and taken away your motivation to clean, or they don't take the consideration at all. And that goes back to something that I addressed last month in Vlogmas, in which I said it's hard for me to get offended when I realize a person doesn't understand the nature of a thing. And I bring that up to say that same thing about this. When a person they're not motivated at all to clean, if you have the slightest bit of care, concern for them, take the time to understand. That is, if they want to talk. Now, if you don't have anyone that would be supportive, if you don't feel like anyone would be supportive, my desire is that you will find something useful with me sharing how it worked for me. I began to notice that what sucked away my motivation, the yelling, the ridicule, so forth. Of course, everyone wants to be clean and everything. Cool. When you're not feeling motivated, that's the last thing on your mind. That is the last thing you want to deal with. What I had to do is learn to set the mood. And I'm not talking about no funny business. I had to learn to set the mood to clean. Also, side note, I've heard a lot about how cleanliness is next to godliness. That ain't in the Bible. I'm just saying. You can look. You don't have to take my word for it. So I would either turn on a sermon to motivate me, or either I would turn on some gospel music, or I would turn on a podcast. I would turn on Christian rap. Something you want to set the mood first. That's the very first thing you want to do. Give it a try. Whether or not anyone is taking the opportunity to understand and sit down and have a conversation, or whether you don't have anyone there. Next, I learned to make it as if it's a challenge, a game show, to make it fun. What was affecting my motivation, the lack of perspective, the lack of conversation about what is the root cause why you don't have this motivation. I had to learn to make cleaning fun because that's not a perception that I was given. I was given the perception that cleaning is a hard task and it's miserable, it's hard, it's grueling. And anytime I would try to make it a fun matter, then something was interjected to make it not a fun task anymore. I think it goes without saying that I know with the craziness of what took place back in 2020, people's mental health was being affected like really greatly. And the thing about mental health, it's such a taboo subject, and it shouldn't be at this point. I mean, we thought in the 20s that, we'll have flying cars by now, Clearly that's not the case. Mental health is such a taboo subject, and it's touchy. No one wants to talk about it, but it's the elephant It's the slew full of elements that are in the room that need to be addressed. When your mind is not in order, neither will anything else, including your motivation to clean or do anything else. Daily, regular responsibilities. And I made it more of a fun task for me. And I learned to change my perspective. This is not grueling, this is not punishment. That is what helped me to be more motivated to clean, especially if it was a lot that I had to do, a lot of cleaning. I would take and divide everything that needed to be clean. I would divide that into a task for that particular day. You never want to start cleaning an entire ginormous mess and try to do it in one day, because that'll kill your motivation. Even if you set the mood and make it like it's a game show, or make it fun, it'll kill all that. You want to tackle one project at a time. Tackle a room of the house one day at a time. That is what made it easier for me. I learned to also proactively listen to people. I learned to listen with people, the negative things that people had to say about it. And I learned to read between the lines and see that their criticism, their perspective that was draining the motivation out of me to clean or to do anything, I learned to see it as they're speaking from the perspective as to what they've been taught. The moment you figure out that how a person leads their life, how they think, how they speak, how they articulate, how they understand things, their whole being of who they are as a person, they're just coming from how they've been raised, how their experiences have shaped them, and that it has nothing to do with you, you have less of a chance of getting offended. And over time, I had to learn that. Another fun fact: just because you were taught it and that's all you're used to does not make it true. That's where you have to get out there and be willing to broaden your perspective. I don't know why I'm going here. That is how you clean with no motivation. Tweak those factors, adopt those things into your life, and let me know if it made a difference. It should definitely give you a spotlight of hope. I would not have developed the mindset that I have developed towards cleaning to make it a fun thing. My creator, God, did this. This has come from trial and error. Until next time, I love you all. And my desire is that you all have been motivated, that you will share it with someone that needs the motivation. And let's smash 2022. Get motivated if you're not. And if you're already motivated, stay motivated.